As I see some of my guys paying attention in the crypto market a little bit more, I'm starting to see a pattern, all right? I'm starting to see a pattern that I think needs to be addressed a little bit in terms of new investors coming into the market and reading news, reading articles, and putting it in its proper context, okay? We need to talk about this because I think it's holding a lot of people back, and it's swaying your emotions in the market, and it's affecting your decisions. Most importantly, it's affecting your decisions, all right? Now, believe it or not, you guys, although crypto news and although crypto media does help you stay informed and stay, what's a good way to put this? In the cut and paying attention, it's also a tool that certain people use in order to get you, AKA retail, to make certain decisions and to get you to do what they want, all right? We're gonna talk about this concept. It's a little bit of a deeper level into investing, but we're gonna talk about it right now. And if you guys learn this, if you guys understand this concept, it's gonna help you massively in terms of your long-term progression in investing in general, but also the crypto market, so that you can make the outsized returns that you all want, all right? I know you guys want the big crypto returns over time. It's not a short, easy process right away, all right? Believe it or not, crypto's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich faster than normal scheme, but it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, all right? So we're gonna talk about this, how the news manipulates you and what you can do and how to understand it, all right? We're gonna talk about it, but before I do, I need to let you guys know that nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not your financial counselor. What you decide to do with your money is up to you, and you need to take responsibility for your buys and your sells, all right? Now, let's talk about this, all right? If you guys are paying attention to the crypto market, if you guys are paying attention to investments, if you guys are paying attention to economics, you're paying attention to the Fed, etc., all right? What you guys realize is that the news comes in waves, all right? There's a wave of positive news, right? And then everybody buys the assets and the assets all go up. And then there's bearish news and then it goes down, all right? Everybody's sentiment goes down and everybody just follows the herd. If you read the news quickly, or if you know the news before it's gonna happen, then you're at an advantage. But if you read them a little bit late and you're just following the emotions of the market, you're probably not gonna do as well because you're just going based on the waves of everybody else, all right? And the thing that you guys have to realize about this is that, believe it or not, you guys, a lot of news media and a lot of articles that come out regarding the crypto market are paid, all right? A lot of them are paid and a lot of them are designed to get you to take certain actions, all right? Now, who are the people behind the scenes that are trying to get you to take certain actions? Okay, well, if it's a token about, or if it's an article about a cryptocurrency, whether it be positive or negative, it might get you to want to buy the coin, all right? It might get you to want to buy the token, but just like regular news, all right, these articles are paid for, all right? These articles are paid for and they're designed to get you to take an action, all right, based on the news or based on the articles, all right? And this happens all the time, you guys. A lot of people in investments get trapped in this where they read an article and then they take an action just based on that article, okay? They're not thinking for themselves. They're looking at the news, they're looking at the media, and it's basically getting them to take actions, and that's exactly what they want, okay? That's exactly what they want, right? And who is they, right? They is Wall Street, they is people behind the news media scenes, and they is the people that are behind the scenes that are trying to get you to take certain actions so that they can get the assets cheap and that you get scared out of the market, right? We've been seeing this the past year with the choppy crypto market, where Wall Street's getting in late because they legally couldn't get into the assets at a good time, and they want you to sell your bag so that they can get cheaper and they can buy over the counter, so that they don't get hit with slippage, which is basically if you're putting in a large amount of money like they are, all right, they can get the assets cheaper and then they can make more profit later on when the assets go up, right? And this happens all the time in crypto. This happens all the time in financial markets in general, where the news and the media persuades the majority of the market. The majority of the market just follow the herd. They follow what everybody else is thinking. And if you get the information quicker than most people, you might end up okay. But the problem is it's impossible to keep up with it, and it's impossible to get it right all the time, okay? How many times have you guys seen negative news of crypto, of Bitcoin or Ethereum, and then the market just rallies and does the opposite of what you think? And this is how people get priced out of financial assets in general, okay? It's the same way you could apply this to, we're talking about crypto right now, but you could apply this to social settings in general, all right? Where if somebody wants to get certain people to think a certain way, or get certain people to behave a certain way, or have an opinion about somebody that maybe they don't like, they'll start to create rumors, right? Fucking gossipers, right? Gossipers that are spreading rumors about people because they want people's sentiment to change about that person, right? Well, the crypto market is the same way, all right? The crypto market is the same way in that if people want you to sell your assets, they're going to create news and they're going to create rumors, I guess, or fear, uncertainty, and doubt, FUD, to get you to sell the position, even though deep down they want to get the assets cheaper, all right? This happens all the time in crypto news, and this is why it's a lot easier said than done, why a lot of people don't make money in crypto long term. In fact, most people lose money in crypto long term because they don't think for themselves, all right? A lot of times they don't do their own research. They're dependent on the media and they're depending on the news to give them signals, right? They don't make decisions for themselves. They don't have a long-term thesis on Bitcoin. They don't have a long-term thesis on Ethereum. They don't have a long-term thesis on Solana. They don't have a long-term thesis on Sui. They don't have a long-term thesis on the AI plays. They don't have a long-term thesis on anything. They're just going with the wind of the broader opinions of other people, okay? Now, this is a good lesson in general in life, is that you need to think for yourself, you guys, right? You need to think for yourself. You need to create your own thesis. You need to make a decision on what you decide. And until that thesis changes, and until that thesis goes against you, and if you're wrong, you have to pivot, right? But if it doesn't affect the long-term thesis of the assets, then you need to stay strong, right? You need to stay strong. And sometimes in financial markets, that means stomaching dips, all right? That means stomaching dips. Corrections in the market based on negative news, and a lot of people selling their positions in order for the people in the background to get the assets cheaper and to get people to get chopped up in the market. And this is what I mean when I say people get chopped up, is that they're reading news, they're reading media, and then they end up getting priced out of the market. They get priced out of the assets, all right? And I encourage you guys to avoid doing that, okay? Stick to your strategy, all right? If you guys have been working with me, if you're one of my guys, you're sending me articles, you're sending me news, which is fantastic, okay? I want you guys to be doing your own research, and I want you guys to be paying attention. But the question that you need to ask yourself is this: whenever you read a news article, whenever you read a crypto article, whenever you read something involving the crypto market, okay, you need to think in your head, what is this article trying to get me to do, right? What is this article trying to get me to do? What emotions is this article trying to get you to do? Is it closer to greed, or is it closer to fear, right? Obviously, if the market's going down, they're going to try to induce fear in you. They're going to try to produce uncertainty and doubt in you, okay, as an investor, to get you to sell your positions and get scared, okay? Perfect example is the tariffs. A lot of people got shaken out of the market with the tariffs, all right? A lot of people got shaken out with the tariffs in a few months back. A lot of people sold their bags. They handed it over to Wall Street, all right? None of my guys did. If you're one of my guys, you didn't get shaken out, all right? And now the assets are up again, and the thesis remains: we stay steady and we stay consistent in the market, right? Something to think about. What are these articles when they come out? What are they trying to get you to do, right? What are they trying to get you to do, right? They're trying to get you to think or feel a certain way, so that then that affects your behaviors, right? It starts with the feelings, it starts with the thoughts, and then that transcends into the behaviors of you later on, which is selling or buying your position. Okay. So this goes to the bullish side too. When Bitcoin's flying to $110, $120, $130,000, you're going to start to see articles that Bitcoin's going to $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million. And although they might be right long term, they might be correct, what the article is getting you to do is they're trying to get you to keep buying the asset at very expensive prices. Why? Because they got you scared. Now when Bitcoin was at $70,000 and you didn't buy, they're trying to get you to buy now so that then you become exit liquidity to them. Okay, same thing. It goes for the negative side and it goes for the positive side, both ways. So don't let news media shake you out of the market and influence your decisions too much. The people who succeed long-term in crypto, you guys, the people who succeed long-term in financial markets in general, have a thesis for themselves. They do their own research. They have conviction in the assets that they buy, and then they profit in the long term because they didn't get shaken out because they do their own research, right? If you guys don't do your own research, you guys don't have conviction, it's going to be a lot harder for you not to get shaken out of your positions and not get shaken out of your bags and not to get manipulated. If you're letting other people dictate your decisions and your opinions, that's typically the typical track record of what happens. All right, and I encourage you guys to not do that. I encourage you guys to have your own thesis, you guys to have your own opinions, and for you guys to do your own research so that you can make money for yourself. And even if a position or an investment doesn't work out for you, okay, you can live with that because that was your decision, that was your research. Okay, now I understand if you're new in the crypto market, you don't necessarily understand how to do proper research. You don't understand how to chart. You might not be equipped to make your own decisions quite yet, or maybe you need some tools in order to help you do research and to come up with your own conviction. And that's exactly why I started the business that I do. Okay, I could teach you how to chart. I could teach you how to do fundamental research. I could teach you how to look at on-chain metrics. I could teach you how to do all that stuff. All right, and if you guys want to do that, you guys can jump in the Telegram, message me privately. We could jump on a discovery call and figure out if it's a good fit for you. Okay, it's not going to be a good fit for everybody. All right, but if you're serious about getting your money right, if you're serious about making your money work for you and using that energy to the highest degree, you guys can contact me and I can help you with that. Okay, but that's just something to keep in mind, you guys. Don't let the news media, don't let the articles, don't let all the negative or overly negative or overly positive news sway you and your emotions. You have to be stoic, you have to be solid, and you have to have conviction in your research. Okay, and you have to be convicted in the assets that you do buy. All right, and if you only have a thesis on Bitcoin, you only have a thesis on Ethereum, you only have a thesis on Solana, whatever the case may be, all right, then stick to those. Don't just jump into things that you don't have any conviction in. All right, especially if you're not getting helped by somebody who does and who's walking you through the process of how to find things that could be bullish or could be bearish or whatever the case may be. Okay, so I hope this message is clear. I hope this message is good. If you have any questions, you guys can write in the comments. All right, you guys like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, TikTok Chase Your Grace, Instagram Chase Your Grace. It's a beautiful day out. I'm by the riverside and it's a beautiful day to be alive. All right, it's a beautiful day to be in the crypto market, no matter what the news is. All right, we know the long-term trajectory. We know that we're going on the ascending. We're in an emerging market, and we're not going to let anybody shake us out of our bags. Nothing's going to stop us from achieving the success that we want because we're putting in the work. We're doing the research when nobody else is. We're paying attention to this industry when most people aren't, and that's why we'll succeed long-term. All right, so I hope you guys have a good day, and I hope you guys enjoy the weekend. All right, I possibly will come out with a video tomorrow and Sunday. And there's a lot of things in the works, okay? There's a lot of things in the works, and I hope you guys have a good weekend, okay? Thank you, and bless up.